Charmaine, and my guest today is an actress and director. She first rose to fame as Brenda Jenkins on the hit sitcom 227. And later she went on to star opposite of Will Smith in Enemy of the State and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire. Also Martin Lawrence in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and most recently TNT Southland and Ridley Scott's American Crime. And she's here today to talk about her BET directorial debut in the hit movie now we know as Rashonda Billingsley Tate's Let the Church Say Amen. Help me welcome Miss Regina King to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. Now, Regina, I want to say that you are one Black woman in Hollywood who is working. And a girl, I got to say, you are a Black girl and you rock.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Now, we all know that you, rose to fame for us. Well, for me, because you and I were actually the same age as the beloved Brenda Jenkins on 227. Was that your first major role?
Yes, that was.
So what was it about acting that you fell in love with it at such a young age and then decided to make it a career?
I guess just because with acting, you have the opportunity to play anyone. And there were a lot of things I wanted to do when I was a young girl. And there was no way that I was going to be patient enough to stay in college long enough to achieve all of those things. So somewhere in my sophomore year at USC, I kind of decided that 227 was a success, and I enjoyed the learning that I was receiving when I was on set, and decided to turn a hobby into a career.
Oh, I like that. You decided to turn a hobby into a career. See, I got to use that one. Now, Regina, you have been in so many of our favorite movies because your resume reads like a book. You've been in our classics such as Ray, Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I mean, and you were able, to even cross over into movies and television like Miss Congeniality, Legally Blonde 2, The Big Bang Theory, 24. What do you attribute to your success?
I guess because I just, probably a few things. One being, having the type of mother that I have. She's just always been a very, spiritual person. We were raised, with the teachings of, practitioners, that, practice religious science. Not to be confused with Scientology, but religious science is a religion, a philosophy that encompasses everyone and everything. And, one of the strongest things in the teachings is, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Mm-hmm. You just have to put your mind towards it. So I never was given that story that a lot of parents, I think, give children that, it's great, you could do that, but you need to go to school to study this so you can fall back on it just in case it doesn't work. I never really had that as a mantra that was put in my head. I always had the mantra of, if you believe it, you can achieve it. You just have to put in the work to do it. So I think that was a big part of it. And then maybe the other part is the agents that I had always looked at me as an actress and not necessarily just a Black actress. So I got with those agents about 19, 20 years ago. And from that time on, they always reached out to writers and producers and studios for shows and movies that weren't just for Black women, that may have had the character description as white woman, yada, 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 yada. And they felt like, well, she could do this. And they would send me in to meet them. And I was lucky enough to get some of those parts.
I love that. Not just a Black actress. You were just an actress. And they defied everything. And I'm just going to go ahead and submit her because we feel she has the talent to do it and she can cross over. It's not about her skin color. It's about her talent. I think that's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now you are making your
I think that's great too.
Because look where you are, and I loved American Crime. I want to tell you that was such a great show. So I want to commend you on that.
Well, thank you. I mean, we are really proud of that. I mean, it's amazing to be able to be a part of something that you really just support the subject matter, and then be nominated for an Emmy after that, and then come back for a second season. It's been a pretty awesome year.
Well, congratulations to you. And now you are making your directorial debut on BET's Let the Church Say Amen, based on the best-selling novel by Rashonda Tate Billingsley, of which you're one of the producers alongside Queen Latifah and Roger Bobb and a few others. Why did you decide to be a part of this project, and why did you decide to make this one your first directorial debut?
Well, it was a passion project. It just started off with Rashonda having been, the rights of the project had actually been with someone else. And the woman, Crystal Garrett, that wrote the script for the movie, reached out to me along with someone else to ask my interest in directing. So I read the script, and I told her that I am interested, but I think the script needs a rewrite. And at that point, it was with Cold Black Films, and they something happened where the finances didn't work out for the movie to be done. So Crystal and I just still continued on, and we wrote the script, and then the rights to Rashonda's book, they ended with Code Black. So my sister, who's my producing partner, and I, we bought the rights once they lost the rights, and just started this relationship with Rashonda. And as we were writing with Crystal, Rashonda became a part of the writing process, and just went on, and we just stuck together for years, trying to find the financing ourselves. And then Shakim from Flavor Unit reached out because he got wind of the book, and he found out that we had the rights to it, and called me, and he said, you know what? What's the story on this movie? And we let him know kind of the history, and so he said, let's do it. And we set out and went to BET and got the money for it. And here we are. It's been almost 3 years since we shot the movie, so it's been a long time coming. Even this is 3 years since we shot the movie, but it was 2 years before we shot the movie when Rashonda and I first met each other.
Wow. So Faith just kept it going, and look what happened. Now we get a chance to see it. It's going to be airing tomorrow night, Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific and Eastern. And was directing something you always wanted to do, or was it just presented to you when the young lady brought you the script?
It was something that I wanted to do. I think Crystal had either ran into me at some point years before, or ran into someone else years before that expressed that I was interested in adding a hyphenate and tackling directing. And at that point, I had directed a couple videos, music videos, so she may have been aware of those as well. And yeah, that's how it started. I finally had gotten to the point in my life that I realized that I couldn't just keep dreaming that I wanted to be a director. I needed to follow what my mother said. If I believe it, I can achieve it if I put the work into it. So it's time to put the work into it.
Okay. And before we go, let us know about the movie and about the cast. And since you were a part of the rewrite, so this is something that's really a part of you because you helped to birth it. So tell us about it.
Well, the movie is one of the things that attracted me to the story when I read the book and script is that I felt like the movie has a universal theme, and our movie is told through the eyes of the Jackson family. So we meet the Jackson family, and Pastor Jackson is the patriarch, and he is this passionate pastor who has dedicated his life to the church, and his family has had to sacrifice their father, their husband, to allow him to create this home for all the parishioners. And with that sacrifice, comes even greater sacrifice within the family. So when we meet them when all of that's at its height. And we, in this 2-hour film, we watch how they navigate through that. So I just felt like it was universal. That story, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a police officer, any type of servant for the community, their family has to sacrifice time with them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I totally understand. My husband and I, we used to also pastor a church, so we definitely get it. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming on this show, and congratulations again for finally being able to call the shots from going in front of the screen to now behind the screen. And I want to make sure that everyone knows to tune in tomorrow night to BET's Let the Church Say Amen, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific Standard Time. Again, Regina, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome.
Lady Charmaine.